it's one of those times when it really does happen pretty often. I mean, even a child, would, if you tell, very often, if you have a wealthy couple, and they're like, well, I don't like who you marry. They could absolutely ensure that, assets only get passed on to that child, never gets passed on to the wife, or completely disregards that child because of who they actually marry. So
Yeah.
this happens in real life. And, I've seen it happen, whether it's, clients or hearing other people, or something to that effect. It does happen where, when you have control, which is what really a person who is writing a will is doing. They now have control of who gets everything because they're putting it in writing, as
Yeah.
opposed to you die without a will and the state gets to decide who
Yeah.
gets that money. And it's going to go to that child, whether you like it or
Well,
not.
yeah. There's just a lot of other tools that, clients and families can use if you really are that set upon who's getting the asset and how they're getting the asset, when they're getting the asset. There's things called trusts,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to say, in the last few years, we've had a very high demand for bloodline trusts, people saying that, hey, I only want to make sure this asset goes to my next of kin, and that's it. I don't want in-laws involved. I don't want anybody else involved. I want this to pass through the generations, through my bloodline, and that
Mm-hmm.
is something, to consider. There's so many scenarios about that. But, I've always said that if you have an issue, you really should chat with your attorney when you're creating these plans, because there is a solution to a lot of things that you might be concerned about. There's many, many things like that. You're worried that you want this asset to be protected. You're worried you want this asset to get to the next generation. You want this asset to only go to this person and nobody else. I mean, yeah, and
Exactly.
you really can create it. You have, like you said, the control. You're the creator. So, that's the one thing to think about. When we're helping clients, we want them to make sure they know it's your decision. We're here to just help you sound it out to make sure it makes sense. Because sometimes some of the things we ask for, like, I don't know if we can do that. But for the most part, there's a lot of things we can do. So you really have to have that comfortableness with your attorney and just let them know what you want. But yeah, I thought, I love this movie. I just think, just the whole time span and everybody, and everything that's there